Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to the Ummahpreneur podcast. And with me, I have two very special guests today. We're doing kind of like a trio podcast right now where I have two people joining me, and these are co-founders, Brother Mustafa and Sister Meryem, who have created the business brand Takva, which inspires God consciousness into everyday lives through their original products. They have beautiful products, pocket prayer mats, and a host of different varieties that we're going to talk about today on this podcast, inshallah. Talk about the inspiration behind the business, what was their journey like as entrepreneurs, and what are some lessons that we can learn from their stories. So bismillah, assalamu alaikum, Mustafa Meryem. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, walaikum salam.
Walaikum salam.
It's a pleasure to have you. And I want to start the podcast. This is the same place that I started with every single guest, is I want you guys to share with me, where were you at in life when you decided to start Takva? Because every entrepreneur that I know, we're not born entrepreneurs. We are made entrepreneurs. We come up with an idea and we decide this idea is good enough. Let me pursue it. So where were you guys at in life when you decided to pursue this new business idea, Takva?
So for me, my background was in industrial design. Actually, namely, I had a passion for user experience design. So before I actually became Muslim, I was actually working at a few companies here and there, doing some kind of user experience design for printers, for electronic products and stuff like that. And then after I reverted to Islam, I was actually talking to a lot of people around me, reverts especially, about the challenges that they actually were facing in their lives as new reverts. And because of that, I actually started to think, is there something more that we could actually do for the community? Because the current products that are in the market, sometimes they are not well designed enough for meeting the needs of Muslims around the world. It doesn't matter whether it's prayer mats or learning tools or toys or everything. It was like back in 2017 where there was a lot of poorly made products, and there were not many Muslim lifestyle brands yet. Yeah. So after I reverted to Islam and after talking to all these people, there was actually one product that I sort of thought of before Takva ever first started. It was like a bunch of flashcards to help new reverts learn how to pray. So that was like how it was as easy as like how people actually look at their phones when they're praying. It's not the proper position. People should actually be doing this and then looking at the ground. But because of the phone, and that was the only thing that people had, they had to make do. So I came up with these flashcards with the words that were big enough so they could put on the ground and they could actually read while they are doing the actual postures. And that was the first product. And after that, I moved on to Japan to live with Mustafa, and then we were actually just traveling around Japan, and we realized because in Japan there's not many mosques around. For us, it was 2 hours journey from our house to the nearest mosque. Wow. And along the way, like for example, we have to pray somewhere. We cannot just go to the mosque and pray. We have to stop by the roadside and pray. And most of the time, sometimes it's raining. And the mats that we had, those portable mats that we had, if you put it on the ground, the water will actually seep through from the bottom to the top. And when you're praying, you feel the wetness on your feet. That was really a terrible and uncomfortable experience for us. So we were thinking, could we actually create something that takes into account all of these issues that Muslims are facing? For example, wet ground or dirty mats, the way that the mat folds. Such that it is actually a pleasant experience for the Muslim when he's praying. So yeah, that was actually the background behind how we actually end up with Takva, to innovate products that actually are beneficial for the user, takes their behavior into account, and everything that should be taken as importance. So we have this that says to be the best that we can, to follow God's commandments, we need the best. Yeah.
Of course, 100%. I love that you shared that, because every great business, at the end of the day, it is built out of necessity. And every entrepreneur that I speak to that has built a business that is successful, that is growing, they built this business out of a problem that they were facing, a challenge that they themselves had, and they're like, how can I solve this challenge? And then they went on to create the product or the business that would solve that problem. And it sounds like it's the same thing for you. Now, I definitely have a few questions for you, and some that I'm personally curious about, because I've been to Japan myself, love the country, so beautiful, mashallah. And I'm curious to know just a little backstory about you guys, so people can get to know you guys better. So how did you guys meet? Did you guys meet in Japan? Did you guys meet outside of Japan and then decide to meet there? What's your story?
That's another story. So I mean, like, we met in actually Malaysia for the first time. I was doing my bachelor there, so I met with my wife there actually in Malaysia in a trip. Yeah.
Amazing, mashallah. And what's your background, Mustafa? You sound a little bit Turkish, I believe. Is there some Turkish in there?
Yes, yeah.
Amazing, mashallah. I've been to Turkey as well. Shout out. It's such a beautiful country. Çok güzel, beautiful country.
Yeah.
I love Turkey, mashallah. So you were in Malaysia at the time, and your wife was there. You guys met there. Eventually, you went to Japan. She met you there. When she met you there, did you guys have that intention of we're meeting to start a business, or was it just something that happened?
Not really, to be honest. No, I mean, I had always this intention of setting up my own business, to be honest, since my childhood. But we never had that when we were in Japan, actually. So this happened along with, us, facing challenges in Japan as a minority community, as like us as Muslims, because the place that we were living, the first that we lived, we were the only Muslims, two of us, basically. Yeah. So we faced this challenge, then we just came up with this idea of creating actually this brand,
And right now, in terms of building the business and where you're at right now, well, are you still in Japan, or is the business now based out of somewhere else?
Actually, nice question. Actually, we started in Japan as our first company. Then right now we are not operating mainly from Japan, but Singapore, Turkey, US, and UK, and we have also other wholesales, accounts around the world. Yeah, but main HQ it's in Turkey, basically.
Awesome. So when you came up with this idea of building the pocket prayer mat that you guys have, which is an amazing idea, it's portable, you can carry it around, as you mentioned, it doesn't get wet, waterproof, you can wipe it from the dirt. When you guys came up with this idea, of course, it's a new product. It's not something that you can just say, well, let me buy an existing prayer mat and resell it. You had to create it or go to manufacturer, tell them this is what I wanted. So what was that like for you? Did you guys face any challenges going through that process?
Okay, so what happened was that we actually had to kind of sew out our first prototype by hand. So we bought the fabric. And before we bought the fabric, we had to go through a whole list of like different types of fabric and find a suitable one. And then after we found like the right one that is light enough, that was still durable and doesn't tear, we had to think like, is it one layer enough? Is 2 layers enough? And after that, we joined the cloth together, we sewed them, and then okay, how do we actually pack it into a bag so that it's compact enough for the user to bring it around in? So that went through a whole maybe 6-7 months of research, trying to find the right kind of bag. Sometimes maybe like a little string or pouch around that didn't work, like an overhang bag that also didn't work because it touched the ground, So a lot of different prototypes back and forth. We even tested like how slippery was the mat when we put it on the ground. We put like a lot of different combinations, and then we tried slipping on it. So it was quite a fun process, but yeah.
A lot of trainer, you would say. Yeah.
I love that. So you took it into your own hands, literally. You went and you sewed your own product. You went to test it out yourself before deciding to go to manufacturers and say, okay, this is what I wanted. You already knew what you wanted because you did it yourself. And so you could tell them, this is what we want, this is the type of fabric, this is how it's made, and that made the process easier for you, I'm guessing.
But even then, the manufacturer couldn't replicate what we wanted. So there was one time that we actually, when we reached out back to the manufacturer that we wanted to work with, he made one product and he sent back to us, and we got a shock because it looked like a dolma. I don't know what dolma means in English, but the roll.
Yes, I know exactly.
The leaves inside there. Yes, right.
It looks so terrible.
It looks so different from what we actually pictured on the visuals. It was so different.
Right.
So we actually had to create like a step-by-step document so that the next manufacturer that we work with wouldn't have to come back with something ugly. Yeah, at least that would save us horror.
Yeah, interesting. So, and how many years ago, or how long ago was this now that you launched this product? in your business?
It's gonna be almost like 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Almost 5 years. Amazing.
Yes,
So since then, have you worked on any new products? Is there anything that you're working on right now within your business that you're planning to launch?
Actually, like we have like a lot of new products that are coming on the on the pipeline. The actually name is, this is not a product, but we are actually working on some kind of franchising system concept that we are currently working on. So, I mean, as we actually face a lot of challenges along this 5 years time, we know that, I mean, it seems very easy to actually start a business, but it's actually very difficult. You have a lot of challenges. You go through a lot of hardship. And then another thing is that after you set up the business, it's also difficult. It's like another level to grow the business. So we have seen all these issues, and then I believe that we have experienced like some of this valuable, experiences. So we thought of actually building this concept where we would, also help other entrepreneurs like us. And we can grow basically together in this ecosystem. So we are working on this franchising concept where entrepreneurs like us, they will come and actually own Takva's regional, let's say, exclusivity in their respective region, and they are able to actually grow in their region with the innovative products that we all come together.
Amazing, mashallah. I love that. And for you as a business, what sparked this idea? I'm guessing this was also a strategic idea for you as a business to grow. Would this allow you to penetrate new markets that you wouldn't be able to otherwise? Or for you, what is going to be that strategic part for the business that will contribute in making this kind of move?
I think for us, it wasn't really so much of a strategy for us ourselves, but it was because we experienced like how so many businesses around us, like it's really easy to start a business. Like you can register your company, you can start your branding, and then after that you create your first product. Everything is okay. For us also, like the beginning was like smooth as sailing and all. When it started to come to manufacturing your product, especially like when you're doing something that is really out of your comfort zone. For us, it was textiles, and then moving on to plastics, for example, and then toys, for example. All of these products were really new experiences. Like everything gave us a new difficulty, a challenge that we had to overcome. And we really saw this, like it was like kind of a hindrance to a lot of new business owners. And that's like how people actually cannot really grow far in their business. So it was like we want to actually help the whole entire Muslim ecosystem to grow together as one, instead of staying just a small business, but all of us growing all together and pushing the economy forward. That was actually the drive of this behind this whole franchising idea. Back in 2017 we started this, and we are kind of like pioneering this innovative products change, so that we want to impart this experience that we have to the people around us who have the same mindsets as us.
And basically we want to take this one to the next step by actually getting this the power from the other entrepreneurs around us and to build this ecosystem basically.
And is this something that you have launched right now, or is it something that you're currently working on and you plan to launch inshallah later in the year?
We actually just launched just a few weeks actually before. We have been working for the past 6 months, but we just launched. So right now we are actually looking, we are trying to actually find, let's say, people who are interested in this kind of concepts.
Okay, awesome. And where can people who are listening to this, if they're interested, where they can go to learn more about that?
Basically, they can just visit our website, and from there they can reach out to us and then get to know actually more about the concept.
Awesome. And what's the link for that, so people listening can inshallah go and check it out? Yeah.
So the link is
yeah, go ahead.
/pages/pages/franchise. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we'll drop a link for that in the comments if anyone's interested in checking that out, inshallah. And you mentioned that you went through a challenging period in business. And of course, every entrepreneur goes through that. And there are so many in every single month, every single day, every single week. It's a new challenge, right? And it's something that we have to overcome. For you going through this journey now, you've been at it for 5 years, mashallah. What has been for you the biggest challenge as an online business who is providing an innovative product to consumers?
I think the biggest challenge, start our, brand from the scratch. I think that was the most challenging thing because, two of us, we had to do everything from the scratch. As in like product, development, sourcing of the products. After sourcing, manufacturing, because we did the manufacturing by ourselves for the first product. And then after that, marketing, like from taking photos to videos, content creation, and then after sales, customer service, this was actually the biggest challenge at the beginning, I would say, right?
Yeah. But alhamdulillah for us, like for our first product, the Pocket Prayer Mat, we thought of the video and we filmed it. But alhamdulillah, with Allah's help, our video actually managed to go viral. It's still being watched by millions of people right now. So that actually put an edge for our business in the sense that a lot of people knew about this product and they knew Takva from the product also. So that helped to elevate our brand. Yeah,
that's amazing. And that's really what happens when you come up with something that is unique, that is new to the market, where you are solving a problem in a way that hasn't been solved before. Because a lot of people, they go to start online businesses or e-commerce and they say, well, this seems like it's a successful product, let me go and just sell a variation of it. And that's not really exciting for consumers. It's not really something that's going to make you stand out. But when you create your own, as you have done, which a lot of people will just source an existing product and sell, but you've decided to create your own unique concept or a prayer mat. This is what allows you to bring something different to the market, and people recognize that, and it kind of has that viral element to it. That potential, mashallah, that it can spread the word even organically, word of mouth, because it's something new that people can benefit from. Now, going through this, because you obviously you're new entrepreneurs, this is I imagine the first business that you're building, right? So going through this journey of 5 years, and as you mentioned, you're doing everything from scratch. How did you go about the process and find answers to your questions? Because a lot of startup entrepreneurs like yourselves, if they wanted to go through this journey, where do I source my products? What do I do to design this? How do I go and market myself? Every time you had a question or a challenge, what was your strategy for coming up with an answer?
It's a good question.
Yes, good
so
question.
I think it has like many aspects. Basically, I think from our kind of stand was because of our experience, like our previous job experience, I think helped a lot. Because I knew a lot about like manufacturing and marketing, and Meryem knew about a lot of the product design and also marketing materials and all. So I think we kind of complement each other in that sense. So we were lucky. So we didn't really at the beginning needed to actually outsource a lot of things from our end.
But with regards to whether a product would actually work in the market, so we relied on advices from people who were elder than us, because there's a lot of value in listening to people who are older, who have more experience than you. That was one aspect, and then another one was customer validation. So we used the method of crowdfunding, where it's not just a platform to get funds, but it's also like a platform where you can listen to the voices of the potential customers around you, and then understand what actually draws them to the product, or what improvements you can make to future products, for example. Yeah, so those were like kind of the avenues that we used.
Okay, I didn't know that you had launched a crowdfunding campaign. So give me a little more information about that. So did you make that decision before you brought the prayer mat to market, or at what point in time did you decide to launch your crowdfunding campaign?
I think this was with the first project that Meryem came up with. She mentioned about the solar flashcards for the rewards. So the idea was actually for helping the rewards, right? So we actually did this crowdfunding just to help. So we needed funding, of course, to actually produce this one and to give it for free. So this is how it started with that project. Then after we had this idea for the portable prayer mat, then we were like, okay, why don't we do this as other entrepreneurs outside of Muslim ecosystem does in big platforms, crowdfunding platforms. That's actually how we came up with the idea of crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Nice. And a question that I have actually, and this is, I'm curious myself, because we are looking, inshallah, to launch a software later this year, and we're considering possibly launching it also through a crowdfunding platform. Now, one challenge that we're facing is our software, our products, everything that we do is really catered to the Muslim niche. And for you as well, when we talk about something like an interactive prayer mat, it is relevant to the Muslim niche. So I'm curious, what platform did you guys leverage? Did you go for launch good, or did you still go ahead and launch on platforms like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, the more popular platforms out there?
Yeah, actually, we use all of the platforms up until now. So we actually started with Launch Good was for the Solat flashcards because this was more like
for the Muslim
for
market.
the Muslim market, isn't like it's not profit. We weren't actually gonna make any profit out of it as a business. Then we started with Kickstarter. We did with Launch Good as well, and we also did it in Indiegogo. So we actually use all the platforms. Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
It really depends on the product.
On the product and project, I think I would say, yeah.
For sure. And just curious, because I want to know for people listening to this and for myself, like, can you launch a Muslim product on a platform like Kickstarter, Indiegogo for you guys? Did you have any success on those platforms? Did you feel like it was still valuable to your business?
Yeah.
We did Pocket
the Pocket Sajadah actually went very well in Kickstarter. Yeah, it was one of the projects we love.
Yeah, we were chosen also project we love, in Kickstarter. But I would say it's not easy. But I mean, it really depends on the project that you come up with and then the marketing strategy that you will have.
I mean, at the time in 2017, there was really almost no Muslim lifestyle products out there. So at the time, ours it's really stood out as a very interesting idea. So I guess that was also part of the reasons why it was kind of like selected as a product we love, because there was no other product out there.
For sure. For you both as, mashallah, a couple in business, partners in business, you are life partners, you are business partners. For you, if you can share with me, what has been maybe the main principle or the main value that you both embody that has allowed you to successfully work on this business together and have a successful partnership? Because there are probably people listening to this who are considering being in a partnership for business, or maybe they already are in a partnership, they want to make sure it's successful. For you, what has been maybe something that you can tell me about how to be a successful business partner together?
I think that's work-life balance is one thing.
We actually learned this along the way. Work-life balance is very, very, very important because seeing each other every day, you tend to actually just end up talking a lot about business, and then it really before long you realize it's like midnight. So we actually learned how to prioritize, like no more messages or phone calls after 5 p.m. Switch off all emails and stuff like that, and no talking about work after 5. There's like some kind of ground rules that we learned to set up along the way. But of course, that was like a learning curve after many months of.
And I think another point, actually, we wanted to have actually Muslim, based, actually what you call business, basically. We want actually our business to be meaningful in a way that we always wanted. So that was, I think, another reason. Yeah.
That was like a motivation behind our entire life as well, like because we are all living for Allah's sake, right? So in the sense, we are still continuing in this mission of ours because we ourselves want to contribute to our deen for ourselves, for our ibadah and all. So that was like, behind every quarrel, behind every argument or decision making, we're always thinking of the background, and that's why also Takva, like the God consciousness, that was also behind the name itself. Yeah,
so you both have the same values at the end of the day, and that is what allows you to kind of see eye to eye. And I think that's so important when it comes to a business partnership, for both people to have the same values, so that if ever there is a disagreement, as you mentioned, at the end of the day, when you're both on the same mission with the same intention, then there's always a way to figure out a middle ground, right? So I want to ask you what's in store for the future of Takva right now. You guys are doing the franchises, mashallah, so that's going to be really great. In terms of products, is there any new products that we can expect from you guys this year?
Actually, we had this product that has been on the pipeline for a very long time. Actually, we also launched this. It's a product called Bidu. I mean, this actually, we already launched it as in on the platform, but it wasn't out because we had actually encountered a lot of challenges. So that's gonna be out within, I think, couple of months. So we'll be actually fulfilling orders from the crowdfunding websites. That's gonna be the, let's say, the next coming project. There'll be other coming projects as well, which maybe I can just give some, tips, hints. Actually, we haven't shared any. So we'll be coming with some tech projects as well. which
Nice,
we are
mashallah.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
MashaAllah, that's amazing. We're definitely really excited to see what you have in store. And there's a question that I ask every single entrepreneur that comes on this podcast. I'm going to ask it to both of you as well. And I think I would want one answer from you, Mustafa, and hopefully an answer from you, Sister Meryem, as well. So for you, brother Mustafa, if you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice as he goes on this journey of life and eventually this journey of entrepreneurship, you could tell him one thing that he could hold on to throughout this journey, what would you tell him?
Just go for it.
Nice.
Just go for it.
Nice.
Because
Love
I
it.
mean, what I've experienced is that sometimes you tend to what you call like, can I do this, or like, oh, there's a lot of challenges ahead, you just go for it. I mean, at the end you may not be successful, but you'll be getting a lot of experience from this, so that's
100%. 100%. There's nothing worse than analysis paralysis, right? When you keep analyzing and then you end up not doing anything. For you, Sister Meryem, what would that one thing be for you? If you can meet your 18-year-old self, you could tell her one thing as she went on this journey of life.
I'm still thinking about it, actually. For me, like, one philosophy that I have always lived with was to put in the best in everything that I'm doing. So, you would meet with challenges in life, definitely, for sure. And during my revert journey, it has been full of challenges. But if you focus on putting in your best in whatever you're doing, so everything that you come up with in your hands, it can be seen by people around you, like that you actually put in effort in what you're doing. Doesn't matter whether you're doing a product or you're doing your own service, or any kind of business that you're doing. If you put in a lot of effort and if you're sure you're always striving for perfection, people see that in your work and they appreciate you for it. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, and this is a value of the Prophet ﷺ actually, right? So to pursue ihsan in everything that you do, and itqan, which is excellence, right? So love that you shared that. Jazakallah khair for that. And how can people connect with you guys further? How can they go and support you? You mentioned your website, so that was takva.co, and that's takva.co. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Perfect. So takva.co. Is there anywhere else that we should guide them, your social media, anywhere else that you want them to go if they listen to this episode?
Yes, so we have an Instagram page where we release our new products. That is instagram.com/takva.co. We also have a YouTube channel where we release our videos. Whenever we release a new product, we have a video accompanying it. So that would be our YouTube channel as well. We also have a TikTok channel.
Nice.
And we also are active on LinkedIn as well as Pinterest. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So make sure to check it out if you're listening or watching. Takva.co, takva.co. We'll drop the link in the description. We'll also drop the link for the new franchise opportunity that you all have just released. Maybe someone listening to this might be like, you know what? Instead of starting my store, let me go and see if I can partner up and help bring this to my local community, inshallah. And that would be an amazing thing to do. So Jazakallah khair, Mustafa Meryem, for joining me on this podcast. It was an absolute pleasure, and I definitely myself learned a lot, and I'm sure our audience did too. So thank you for that.
Well, okay. Thank you so much for your time as well.
Yeah, thank
pleasure. Jazakallah khair. And you all know the drill, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave us a rating and review of the podcast on your favorite platform. And of course, go ahead and follow us as well on any social media platform, search Ummahpreneur. And if you'd like our help with your business, go to ummahpreneur.com and go through the resources available, and you'll definitely find something for you. And of course, make sure to support our guests. Go follow them, go and support them, go on their website, check out their beautiful products. They have amazing prayer mats. They have a whole product line available to you for Ramadan right now as well that you can benefit from. So go and check it out just in time for Ramadan, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Assalamu alaikum.